Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. So, I heard about this over the weekend, and I had to do a video on this. This is absolutely insane. Also, I do believe that some egos do need to be checked. Now, yes, I am a smaller YouTuber. I'm an 1120 subs YouTuber about to essentially call out somebody who has like 100 or so thousand subs. The question is, do I care? No, I do not. What I am saying is, I'm also essentially calling out Bounding into Comics for not doing their due diligence when doing research for an article. Now, there is no malice in this at all, folks. I have no malice towards Doomcock. I think he's kind of got a little too obsessed with certain topics and his accuracy slipped, which is why I unsubbed from him a while back, because he had ceased to be interesting and ceased to be informative, in my own opinion. Now, but what he has done, essentially, has basically let his followers stoke his ego to the point where he had to express it in something that was completely inaccurate. If a little bit of any sort of research had been done about the whole latest She-Hulk thing, where in the group of incel men goes after She-Hulk and outs her as a slut and whatnot, well, their masks are not at all reminiscent to Doomcock. If you did a modicum of research, Spencer, no offense to Spencer, Spencer is a great guy on Bounding into Comics. I've covered a lot of his articles, and I've also follow him on Twitter, and he's a good guy. But he should have done a little bit more research into this article instead of making it a puff piece about Doomcock and his overinflated ego. So before I do get further in, I do want to say hello to Dan Blackroyd in the chat. GB Luke, good to see you. And anybody else who is in the chat, hello. I do see that I got a little bit more followers. Now, if I do piss off any of the followers of Doomcock, just know that you're entitled to your opinions. You're not entitled to your own facts. And clearly, in this case, facts are actually against Doomcock. So without further ado, I'm just going to get into it right now. So let's bring it up. She-Hulk appears to model members of misogynistic antagonist group Intelligentsia after YouTuber Doomcock. So I'm gonna read this article first, and then I'm going to give my counter to it. All right. It's just looking at the surface level because they all wanted to be victims in this. And you know what? That is most likely probably true, Dan Blackroyd. But honestly, I think that this needs to be said. So I'm going to go over to the other screen so I can read it. So yeah, in the strongest suggestion thus far that Disney Plus series is nothing more than a platform for its writers to use to work out their own personal hangups, She-Hulk Attorney at Law appears to have modeled the uniform appearances of the series' incel antagonistic group, Intelligentsia, on recognizable visage of popular YouTuber Doomcock. Appears is the main word, so I will actually say that's the title of this thing here. Appears to is good, because if they would have said it that this is indeed modeled after Doomcock, then I would have even called them out even further for basically botching journalistic ethics. Now, introduced in the series 6 episode, the incarnation of the primarily anti-Hulk supervillain team is depicted as a forum exclusively full of angry men who have gathered in their shared hatred of She-Hulk. Intelligentsia is actually from the comics, folks. So, yeah, we'll get further into that later. Shown making the worst quality anti-She-Hulk memes possible, very much composed of the writers' failed boomer attempts to parody contemporary memes. Hold on. There we go. Contemporary memes using a format last popular in 2009. The issuing death threats towards the Jade Giantess on a Reddit-like website. The intelligentsia's hatred of Jen is shown as being based on nothing more than the fact that she is a woman. Well, we all know that is basically the show's running point. I'm a woman, I'm oppressed, woe is me. We already knew that, so let's continue on here. Though the group has been, for the most part, kept to the shadows outside of their agent Josh being seen manipulating She-Hulk's heartstrings as part of the group's machinations, the Intelligentsia finally made their debut alongside Daredevil in the series' last entry, Ribbit and Rip It. Why does that sound like a sexual joke? I mean, seriously, that just sounds sexual for some weird reason. But anyway, following what is essentially an entire episode surrounding the Daredevil of Hell's Kitchen, or the Devil of Hell's Kitchen, the series' latest episode draws to an awkward, stumbling close with Jen's attendance to an awards gala where she's been nominated as Female Lawyer of the Year. Though this disappointingly turns out to be an admittedly patronizing participation trophy, award rather than a genuine accolade. Eventually invited up to stage along with her fellow Female Lawyers of the Year, Jen takes the opportunity, regardless, to deliver a customary acceptance speech, thanking her parents, her friends, her coworkers, and the support through the ups and downs of her career. However, midway through the speech, Intelligentsia reveals themselves to the public at large. Do you want to know who She-Hulk really is? Asks the group masked leader. Sorry, I had to do that voice. Sorry. Hulk King. So apparently this dude has a raging boner for the Hulk, if he's calling himself Hulk King. But then again, it could just be a play on words of hulking. But anyway, as the group hijacks the award ceremony's audio-visual setup. This is the truth as presented by Intelligentsia. A voice booms across the reception hall as two masked men appear on the screen. Now, notice it. Well, folks, notice this cross-armed pose here. Look at the fact that they're wearing hoodies. I am going to draw you to those facts later on. She-Hulk does not deserve your attention, one of the men continues as She-Hulk's personal information obtained through Josh's hacking of her phone begins to flood the screen. She does not deserve your praise. She does not deserve the powers she stole from the Hulk. She's not good enough to be a superhero. And she's a slut! He finally exclaims as the group's main weapon is deployed. A sex tape recorded without Jen's permission by the aforementioned Josh. So they actually showed a sex tape of her. Wow, isn't that something? Staring up at the screen in horror as her personal escapade is broadcast in front of those closest to her both personally and professionally, including her parents, she proceeds to smash the hall's giant television monitor, in turn causing those in attendance to flee in terror. Wow. However, just then She-Hulk realizes that she's being recorded by one of her sleazy Tinder dates, Todd Phelps, in service of providing the Intelligentsia with more negative material related to her superpowered alter ego. That this face that she is making here does seem to look a little bit like Pennywise. I'm getting Pennywise vibes from that for some weird reason. But anyway, losing herself to her emotions, she flies into a rage and proceeds to chase Todd out of the building, all the while smashing to bits anything that stands in between them. Ultimately, the episode draws to an end with Jen lifting Todd up from the ground by his collar and surrounded by anti-Hulk security, realizing that her outburst has played directly into Intelligentsia's plans. Well, now you look sad about it. Now, here's where it gets here, folks. Clad in robot angular masks that emphasize the general bone structure of a human face, and speaking through a voice modifier that drops their pitch a few octaves, it appears that either these angry strawmen had their disguises inspired by the notable YouTuber, or Marvel and Doomcock have found themselves involved in one of the most insane coincidences in the history of media production. I think when I get to it later that you will see that is not the case. In fact, these similarities were so widely perceived that the entire situation was quickly raised to Doomcock himself, who in turn responded via his own channel. Essentially, if this is intended to be a shot at me, and I think that there's a pretty good chance this is the case, he's really on a high horse. It's a fake take on Doomcock, and that's what I find offensive, asserted the metal-masked man. In simply speaking out and doing my best to defend the literature and myths of the recent past, Doomcock has become a target for those in Hollywood, he further explained. Really? Doomcock? Really? Yet, rather than find his targeting disparaging, Doomcock offered a surprising counter of optimism. And this means one thing, my friends. We are winning, he concluded. If Doomcock bothers them this much, it means we finally have their attention. And that's the end of the article. So, yeah, folks, I hate to break it to you, but this has absolutely nothing to do with Doomcock. Nothing at all. In fact, they said human looking with robot angular faces. Does that look at all like Doomcock's mask? Does Doomcock's mask look remotely human like features? No. The blatant answer is no. Him saying, oh my God, they're attacking me. It's working. We're getting their attention. High horse. Not just a high horse, but you got a high horse on stilts that this man is riding on. No offense to Doomcock, no malice intended. But from what I am perceiving, that is exactly the case. And you know what? It's time to present a more legitimate defense or counter to his claim. Stig Kenobi, good to see you. Mads, good to see you. And has anybody else come in? And yes, that's exactly where this is going. Looks more Dr. Doomish. I'm about to share some screens here. Percent. Well, they changed the thing a little bit. I have been dead wrong for 4 years straight. I like getting to them. Yeah. And I'm getting to them. Exactly, man. It makes no sense. So, yes. Folks, Intelligentsia, Earth 616. Oh, look at that. It actually has origins in Marvel. It has origins in Marvel, folks. Automatically, this is one big step in proving Doomcock wrong. Now, again, I am not doing this with malice. I do want to make that clear. Spencer, you wrote a good article, but you should have done your research. Now, let's go to former members. What does that say right there, folks? Dr. Doom. is a former member of Intelligentsia. Intelligentsia is essentially a lower or a dark side, a flip or the flip side of the coin that is the Illuminati in Marvel Comics. They are the most sinister minds of intelligence in the comics. You got Modoc Superior, you got Mad Thinker, Egghead, Claw. These were all genius level villains. Now, remember those hoodies, the green hoodies? Let's take a look at Dr. Doom, shall we? Victor Von Doom, 616. You know, 616, they actually claim is the MCU's universe, which is actually not true. The MCU was already confirmed back during Phase 1 that it was Earth 199,999. So, yeah. Here's Victor Von Doom. Look at that green. Does not look so familiar. Hoodie. Or with the hood and the cape. The hood. Yeah. But here's the kicker, folks. I'm going to blow up this picture of Dr. Doom here so that there's absolutely no more confusion on it. I can't hate on Doomcock for seeing an opportunity and jumping on it. Hey, that's respectable, Mads. That's fine. Why would the most intelligent villains, or why model intelligent villains after Doom? It makes no sense. Exactly. It really doesn't. Because no offense to Doomcock, as I said, the dude, well, if this thing would act. Alrighty, so we're not gonna go there. I'll just do this. There we go. You can actually look at the face right there, folks. It's a lot more easier. I don't see this as about Doomcock. I see this as the fellow sheep, like, always claiming victories and pretending they are making an impact. That's the thing. No offense to any of us YouTubers, the bigger names, the Ryans, the Jeremys, and all of them who have gotten on the Daily Wire and shit. Just because you have gotten on the Daily Wire, who puts themselves behind a paywall, mind you, hate to break it to you, but they're kind of put behind a paywall and they expect everybody to pay for their shit, especially if it's so important that you'd think they would want a more global impact than putting everything behind a paywall. But aside from that, the Intelligentsia folks are clearly modeled after Dr. Doom, who was a member of Intelligentsia in the comics, a former member. He freaking outed them and had them all, or had Intelligentsia disbanded. That's how badass Dr. Doom is. So yeah, folks, I'm sorry to say, but this absolutely had nothing to do with Doomcock, and had everything to do with everybody who are so hypersensitive to identity politics and whatnot. And yes, She-Hulk is full of identity politics. I'm not going to dispute that. But what they have done is essentially, oh my God, woe is me. We got to tell Doomcock about this because it looks. How does it look like Doomcock? Honestly, how did it look like Doomcock? Is it because of the voice that dropped a few octaves, which is something that Doomcock is known for? Sure. But seriously, what the hell? How the hell do people draw a comparison between those Intelligentsia masks and Doomcock? Doesn't work. Especially with a modicum of research being done, you would have realized has nothing to do with Doomcock, has everything to do with Dr. Doom. Oh, we must be getting to them. They've acknowledged us, yes. And yes, we have all done our part to speak out against the identity politics narratives that they are constantly pushing and ruining Hollywood with. I will not dispute that. But this is so easily disproven that Doomcock should have actually taken a beat instead of placating to his followers. He should have checked his damn ego, and he should have been a little bit more responsible. You want to make people, or you want to make everybody look like fools, Doomcock, congratulations, you played yourself. You made everybody look like a fool, not just you. Everybody who was trying to freaking go up against these guys for ruining entertainment, you made all of us look like fools because you are a bigger name and you didn't think before opening your mouth. Yes, I also have that problem. I have opened my mouth without thinking, and there are people that can attest to that, very much so. I have a habit sometimes of putting my own foot in my mouth. This isn't one of those times, though. If anybody would have done a modicum of research, they would have seen this was more Dr. Doom than Doomcock. And I am not saying it with malice. Doomcock should have checked his ego. He should have taken a step back and said, while I do appreciate the support, this seems more Dr. Doom than Doomcock, folks. And now let's look at another piece of evidence. I'm not going to, or there's no need to show anything of it, but I'm going to go over it verbally. If you look at what the MCU has done with massive villainous organizations, massive villains themselves, and seeing how they have relegated them to one-offs in their MCU, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Intelligentsia is the latest casualty. They took a group of insanely smart supervillains and turned them into a bunch of misogynistic antagonists that are jealous of She-Hulk and wanted to discredit her. That's what they did. They took Hydra, who survived all the way through and never really got fully dismantled. They relegated it to, and the Red Skull, who was prevalent and was ultimately responsible for the killing of Stephen Rogers 70 years after he went into the ice. He comes out, and Red Skull is also still going on and whatnot, yet he was killed in the first movie and then used later on in Endgame and Infinity War. You have Gore the God Butcher, who was a slayer of gods, who was much more of a threat than what they did in Thor, Blunder, and Mud. You have all these other characters like Baron Helmut Zemo, who is also part of Hydra at times, aligned with them. What'd they do? They made him a fucking Sokovian terrorist that was former military. I could go on and on. They turned freaking, what's his name? The guy that helped Zola, the one that helped the Red Skull. Instead of giving him a mechanical body, they turned him into a freaking bunker for a brain. Zola was incredibly smart and incredibly dangerous in the comics. He kind of gave the heroes a run for their money here and there. End up killing him or bringing him back just to kill him in like only a 5-minute stint. That's the biggest evidence against this claim that somehow they modeled the appearance, or they have appeared to model the appearance after Doomcock. So yeah, honestly, there is no evidence to support that they modeled anything of that episode after Doomcock. None whatsoever. And like I said, he put his foot in his mouth when he made himself look like an idiot again, because he constantly was going off on, oh, Kathleen Kennedy's going to be fired. Kathleen Kennedy's going to be fired. I have sources in Disney that's saying Kathleen Kennedy's going to be fired any fucking moment. Kathleen Kennedy still has her job at Disney. Doomcock has been wrong for years. Again, no malice. I'm simply pointing out facts. He has gone off on these wild conspiracy theorist tangents, and I hate using that term, conspiracy theory, but that is what he did. He's been saying, my sources inside Disney are telling me this. My sources inside Disney are telling me that. My sources are telling me this and that. And then it turns out to be that and this instead. Turns out to be completely off the fucking mark. And people still listen to him. That's why I unsubbed from him a couple of years ago, when his constant getting shit wrong became no more informative. I tend to follow people that are a little bit more informative and also fun to be around. Doomcock ceased to be that. He just kept on spouting a bunch of nonsense and bullshit, throwing all of it against the wall, hoping it sticks, except that he forgot that he lined the wall with Teflon. Anyway, 27, yeah, this ain't going to be that much longer of a stream, folks. I needed to get this out because, honestly, this is a bigger slap in the face against the greater YouTube community, who is actually trying to fight against all this crap that is destroying Hollywood and our entertainment. Instead of coming at this with a greater thought, Doomcock instead stoked his ego and not only made him look like an idiot, but all his fans and followers look like idiots too, because they didn't just do a little bit of research. Bounding in the Comics, honestly, you should not have helped feed into Doomcock's ego. When I see myself mentioned in Bounding in the Comics, it's like, that's awesome. It's pretty cool to be mentioned. But at least I'm hoping that I am informing people with what I am saying. If Bounding in the Comics wants to use me as a source, they can. Hopefully what I am giving people is a little bit of information that is valuable and maybe raise awareness to what's going on. I'm not in it to get 1 million followers. I'm not in it to freaking stoke my ego. I check my ego whenever I do a video. Even the videos that I have done in the past, like a year ago, when I predicted that the SJWs were going to claim that Michael Myers was homophobic, I checked my ego even there. Because it's like, yeah, this was pathetically predictable, to be quite honest. They did it with Pennywise. They did it with Michael Myers. And that is why I am always stressing at the end of my videos. I have been saying it for years, literally now, to stay humble. To not use your platform to freaking give your or go for clicks and be a big name and, oh yeah, I'm an elitist guy now. I'm a bigger name, cool. Fuck the little guy. It's basically what I've seen with a lot of the bigger channels. Not naming names, I already did that in another stream. But that needed to be called out. But Doomcock, you basically made everybody in the fucking community who follows you and listens to you look like idiots because you wanted to stoke your own ego. Honestly, if you have any sort of integrity, I advise, I'm not commanding, I'm not demanding, I advise you to actually do a little bit of research like I just did in this stream and do a video. Maybe I was wrong, folks. Speaking as Doomcock, maybe I was wrong. Maybe we should have looked at a little bit more of the facts instead and come to a different conclusion. Or in the very real possibility, it's possible. I'm not going to discount its possibility. Maybe they were modeling after Doomcock. I'm not saying they did. I'm not saying they didn't. All I'm saying is that it was a very small possibility. But after doing a little bit of research, like looking up Intelligentsia/Marvel, you can easily go to the Marvel fandom or the Marvel wiki, and you can easily find out that Dr. Doom was a fan or member fan. And there you go. And yes, Money J 2023, I am talking about Doomcock. She-Hulk writers and Jessica Gao have long been bashing fans due to the fact the show is bad and they know it is. They can bash fans. Yes, I have seen them bash fans. I have seen them freaking call everybody and their mother freaking misogynistic for not giving their show glowing praise. But they have never called out anybody specifically. They have never confirmed anything like that. So there's absolutely no way that people, there's no way that they could have drawn a correlation to Doomcock unless it's absolute massive ignorance. Massive ignorance of the fact that people don't even read comics anymore and know that Intelligentsia existed in the comics. Have we seriously fallen so far as a society that we don't do any more research? That we don't look things up to maybe explore an alternate possibility? Maybe we should start doing that a little bit more. Maybe we need to go outside, touch some grass, go to the library, read a book, do a little research, grab an encyclopedia, something like that, anything like that, because obviously this could have been avoided if people have or had done that. And if they had been paying attention for years of what's been going on in the MCU. I mean, seriously. Look at Whiplash. He's a constant. He never got killed in the comics as far as I'm aware of. They killed him in the MCU. Look at the Mandarin before Shang-Chi Mandarin came out. Look how that fucking went. They have a habit of taking something from the comics and turning it into something less than it is. If they do that with the real Doctor Doom and the MCU, oh shit, I'm glad I walked away. Because Doctor Doom literally ended other Earths during the Incursion crisis, which incursions are now a part of the MCU. He wiped out other planets, other Earths, to ensure the survival of his Earth. He's willing to do what is necessary to survive and also to achieve global domination. Let's not pretend he's doing it out of pure altruism. But yeah, they went too far specifically to call out YouTubers like Doomcock by portraying a villain that is fashioned after him. Except that the villain isn't fashioned after him, Jay. The villain isn't fashioned after Doomcock. Hey, Mr. Grant Gregory, good to see you. Basically, everybody's saying that, oh, She-Hulk attacked Doomcock. No. They freaking modeled the damn mask and the look of those guys after Doctor Doom. The green hoodie sweatshirts, the masks, If they would have put those hoods up, you would have easily gotten fucking Doom vibes. You want to even see something even a lot more on the nose? Look at the hairstyle of the one with the arms crossed, which is actually a known Doctor Doom pose. Or if it's not his hand up in some grand gesture, it's usually with his arms closed and crossed like this. If they would have put a hood, or if that dude would have put his hood up, you would have thought immediately Doctor Doom. I'm telling you that flat out. But people are not freaking doing any sort of research. They're not paying any sort of attention. And honestly, a person who has walked away from the MCU, me, figured this shit out just by looking at an article. It's like, Intelligentsia, that's a Marvel group. That face looks the green shirt, that's Doctor Doom looking. How does anybody get that mask, draw any sort of correlation to Doomcock's mask, folks, or his helmet or whatever? Because honestly, didn't Doomcock's mask get modeled after Doctor Doom? Maybe kind of, sort of, in a weird, fucked up porn parody kind of way. But honestly, maybe I kind of see it a little bit. Like maybe if Axel Braun had a retarded stepbrother that did porn parodies, he would take Doomcock's helmet and say that's Dr. Doom. Or Dr. Doomcock. I mean, honestly, now that I think about it, Doomcock does kind of sound like a porn parody version of Dr. Doom. I'm saying that with all respect, but I hate to say that too. I thought they were trying to be like an anonymous with the masks. They are knowing I'm not as knowledgeable in the Marvel universe as you are, and that's fine, dude. I don't read the comics, but I do know enough about Marvel to do a nice little Google search. Intelligentsia Marvel. Former members, Doctor Doom. The green shirts that have hoods. The masks. The pose of one of them. All screams Doctor Doom. Plus how the MCU treats major villains. I always thought DC made it in honor of Doc Doom. I personally didn't think She-Hulk made it related to Doom, or I always thought Doomcock made it in honor of Doc Doom. Honestly, I have no idea. I can't speak to Doomcock's motives or his inspirations. But all I'm saying is that maybe he should have checked his ego at the door before making a video saying, She-Hulk attacked me? No. No, Doomcock. Not only is your high horse, well, pretty high up there, but you even put the damn horse on stilts, like I said. Anyway, folks, this video has gone on long enough, and I've said my piece. Again, there is no malice towards Doomcock, but he should have thought it through before fucking making that video, because he made a lot of people look stupid. He made Bounding Into Comics look stupid, because Bounding Into Comics should have done a little bit more research and offered an alternate point instead of writing it a puff piece for Doomcock. Spencer, you're a good writer. Do not get me wrong. But you should have thought about that before you wrote a puff piece for Doomcock. Anyway, folks, that is going to be the video. You all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section or down below if you're catching this on the replay. What do you think? Do you think that maybe they should have done a little bit more research? Do you think that Bounding should have done a little bit more research? Do you think that maybe Doomcock should check his ego once in a while? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below, folks. This has been Orange Hat Reviews, and I mean this especially tonight. Stay humble.